The promise of South Sudan's independence in 2011 has quickly deteriorated into political and ethnic bloodshed, leaving hundreds dead, including UN peacekeepers, and thousands homeless. Tension in South Sudan has been rising since July, when President Salva Kiir, a Dinka, fired Vice President Riek Machar, a Nuer. Much of the fighting has been between the two ethnic groups. Violence erupted recently when President Kiir accused Machar of attempting a coup. As thousands of people flee the violence, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and U.S. President Barack Obama have both called on the two sides to halt the fighting, begin a dialogue, and move toward reconciliation. Grant Harris is the White House Senior Director for African Affairs.
There needs to be a peaceful way forward. It's got to be inclusive of all the different political leaders through dialogue and through reconciliation, and that the only way to do that is going to be through talking and through calming the tensions that exist currently. So we want the violence to stop, and we want a political process going forward.
Harris says the crisis could easily spread beyond South Sudan.
I think there is a sense of concern in the region about what this could mean both for South Sudan and the region more broadly. You've also seen the Security Council express its strong concern as well, and so I think it's captured the attention of the international community.
The spreading conflict in South Sudan has neighboring countries watching events very closely, according to John Temin, director of the Africa program at Washington's U.S. Institute of Peace.
During the long wars in Sudan prior to South Sudan's independence, many of the neighbors were affected with significant refugee flows into Ethiopia, into Kenya, and elsewhere. And I think some of those neighboring countries are looking at what's happening right now and getting increasingly concerned that similar situations could happen.
Temin warns the surge of refugees could overwhelm the capacity of the UN camps.
Lots of people seeking shelter at some of the United Nations compounds in different parts of the country, and those UN compounds are really not well equipped to house tens of thousands of people, which is the case for at least one or two of them.
With the security situation rapidly deteriorating, some aid workers are being forced to leave.
That makes providing humanitarian assistance even more difficult.
While the outside world rushes to provide aid and exerts pressure for a solution, experts say progress toward a settlement likely will have to come from within South Sudan. Kent Klein, VOA News, Washington.